Blackburn Rovers return to Anfield to take over another wonder kid. This time, of course, it's Tyler Morton. What's it all about? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks. Back once again with another prediction video. That's right, folks. Back once again with another video. Today, we're going to take a look at Blackburn Rovers' first bit of business. Of course, that took place yesterday. That's a manic Monday, of course, as Tyler Morton signed on the dotted line and, of course, became the latest Liverpool player to come over to Blackburn Rovers. Will he be a bit more Clarkson or will he be a bit more Elliott? Of course, we'll take a look at it in the numbers in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, of course. And if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button about it. All things Rovers, Championship, and, of course, don't forget the World Cup coming at you later this year. But what are we talking about? We're talking about this youngster, young gun assassin. It is Tyler Morton. One Tyler Magalori is gone. Tyler Morton has come in, of course, and he's the second Morton to play for Rovers over the past 20-odd years, of course, following Morton Gamst as well, who did do a video for the Rovers boys. Anyway, but what's he all about? Well, I'll show you what he's all about. He's all about this. Of course, a player that I have dubbed the Joe Rothwell replacement. Of course, he is not necessarily a Joe Rothwell clone. He is more like a ball-playing genius that can play in that cubby hole. I don't know what they call it, the sixth spot. I think that's what they call it. He can play on the left, on the right as well of midfield, but he also can play in the just above the back three as a defensive midfielder, the sort of the Lewis Travis sort of role. So he can play a bit of a versatility there, and I'd expect him to play in one of those two positions, the centre mid or the defensive midfield. So either a Buckley or a Travis at the moment. So again, competition for numbers, we need this sort of stuff. Now again, his numbers are really, you know, they're there. Of course, not really played that many first team games on a competitive level. He has played for Liverpool, and that's not, you shouldn't underestimate that. He has played for them in the Premier League and in the Champions League, so the confidence is there from Klopp, and the fact that he's played at least multiple games in both those competitions shows the belief is there. So I do believe we have a player. I'm going to dub him the James Garner of Blackburn Rovers this season. Of course, James Garner last season did phenomenal for Forest on loan from Manchester United, and I think we could get some good results from this deal. And again, yeah, I am leaning towards an Elliott more than a Clarkson on this as we look at him early days. Here he is celebrating, of course. These are his numbers, and a bit more glory then, shall we? Of course, for the under-23s, 6 goals, 8 assists. He's not really a goal scorer, though. You know, he's not there to score the goals. He's there to pick the pass, to create the vision, to compete with the Buckaroos, to compete with those in that not the attacking trio, but just behind those. And again, you know, scoring for the under-18s, as well as the Premier League, a couple of games as well over the course of competition. So he's also played 9 for the Liverpool senior team. That's including the Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup and Premier League. So he's played 9 times. So he's a Liverpool player. He might not be first team, definitely not, but give it, I'd say, another 3 years and he'd be knocking on the door, if not less than that. Where's the captain's armband here for the under-23s or whatever? So he is a leader on the pitch. He knows what he's talking about. His value is on the rise, around about £3.5 million. You would say, give or take. This is in dollars, but you know, give or take. So he's on the rise. So this is his ranking, of course, according to some stats. I take this with a bit of pinch of salt here, boys, because I'm not too sure how updated these numbers are. Are they coming off the back of last season? Are they this season? But regardless, the numbers are there, so just take it in for what you want. I'm not going to look into it too much because we've only played 1 game this season. He hasn't even kicked a ball for professionally this season. So yeah, take from that for what you will. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at the serious meat of the matter. It is, of course, for me, the Joe Rothwell replacement. They're around about valued around about the same time, but guess what? We got a much younger player in about 8 years difference. He will turn 20 though on Halloween. That's right, of course. So we'll be celebrating spookily. I'll get the mask out and everything for his birthday, and hopefully he can create competition for that spot. Am I expecting him to walk into the 11? No, I don't think so. Definitely not for this weekend's game against Swansea. I think he'll be on the bench. But, of course, he will probably play the Hartlepool game in the Cup. I'd give him that to see what he's all about and see what kind of a player we've got. But anyway, let's take a look at the comparisons then, shall we? Of course, the height-wise, he's smaller than Rothwell, so a lot less in the commanding figure for set pieces and things like that. But can he take a free kick? That's what we want. This is a bit of an area of weakness for us. I think, yeah, we've got free kick takers in our team, but we haven't got an established free kick taker. So I'm hoping he could be at least one that can compete for it, of course. Played at under 20 level for England, as did Joe Rothwell. And his contract expires with us anyway with the 31st of May 2023. And of course, Joe Rothwell has just signed with Bournemouth, and he will play in the Premier League. I'll give it that. He will get his Premier League bow, unless something stupid happens in the next few days. He'll be in amongst it. And again, Joe Rothwell can play across the middle there, left-hand side, right-hand side, and down the middle. And again, this young gun here is more bog standard central midfielder, also played defensive midfielder. They are two. They are not. Then Joe Rothwell. The gift he has is the mazy runs that he does. He can get the ball from deep and he can run his socks off all the way from one penalty box all the way to the other and skip past 4 or 5 tackles. You don't get that very often anywhere. It is one of them rare talents. However, what Tyler Morton does is different. He's a visionary. He can pass the ball, pick the spaces, and create the chances for your Diaz, your Gallaghers, whoever else is going to be leading a line. So two different kind of players. So let's not think that we're going to get a mazy ball player, and that's probably not what we want to see. I think the pace is going to come from the wings or the attacking trios, the Dolans. Etc, etc. Anyway, this is of course the value over time. These two players, of course, peaking around about 4 million, just shy of 4 million for Rothwell. And again, if he has a great season and they stay up and he plays 20 odd games, he'll be more of a £10 million player. As for this fella, he will probably break 10 million by next season. I think he'll have a good season. I'm not basing that on anything. I just know he's at the right place to become a good player. And yeah, Clarkson last season was a bit of a dud, but he is a local boy. He is of course a Blackburn Rovers fan, so let's not give him too much stick. He just wasn't ready, I don't think. I think we have got probably a good hybrid, a guy very much in the middle, sort of Clarkson and Elliott. Elliott is of course a once in a lifetime player. He's probably knocking on the door. I don't think this is stupid, but I think Elliott is knocking on the door of a World Cup spot. If he can get off to a flyer in the Premier League, he'll be there. Gareth Southgate will be like, you know what? Come on, lad, you're coming with me to Qatar. This kid though, he's going to take this season hopefully and run with it. And he's probably, still another he's about 2 or 3 seasons away from breaking into Liverpool. He will get in there, or he'll get sold. But he will be an established Premier League player, this kid. So moving forward, there he is in the blue and white halves. This is, of course, the numbers then. Of course, much more numbers for Joe Rothwell. 25 goals scored over 300 games is not great. That's where he kind of sucked ass. He was a great at creating stuff, great getting the ball out of trouble, and great giving Rovers the option to score. But he was hardly likely ever going to score. Just 10 goals for in the Championship, 6 in League One, 18 assists as well. As for the young gun here, let's not really look too much into the numbers, but they are Premier League 2 numbers. But as you see, playing for the Carabao Cup a couple of times, the Champions League, Premier League, and of course Premier League 2. So again, the numbers are there. They are good, but they do need to be more Premier League numbers, if you know what I mean, and first team numbers. So this is his season. Anyway, for me, I'm content about this. Again, it kind of sucks ass a little bit that we are bringing in loans to kind of satisfy the quota, but I think getting talent like this, we've seen it. We've seen it on everywhere else. We've seen it. I'm using Forest as a prime example. They optimised the loans. Zinkernagel, Ghana. They brought in loans. They could invest. They could drop some money on a player that might be good for the Championship, probably could be good for the Championship. But what happens if you actually make it to the Premier League? Then you've got a kind of a not ready Premier League kind of player, a good Championship player. So you kind of put a bit of a gamble. This guy, we're going to give him a chance here. Yes, we'll kind of put a temporary block on that thing. Give the recruiting team another chance to look out there, and also not blocking any of the progress of the young guns coming through, the Garretts, the Adam Mortons as well, who are going to be competing for these positions when the likes of Buckley, this lad here, can't make the team. So you know what? I think it's a win-win for the Whartons. I think Adam Wharton, the Jake Garnett or whatever his name is, they are over the moon with this deal. It's a temporary it's a paper wall. It's a paper wall. They can burst through that wall and say, you know what, Gover, he's shit, mate. Give me the jersey. I'll tell you what it's all about. They're not going to get loaned off, I don't think, unless something does crazy go on. But anyway, I think all in all, win-win for everybody. Win-win for Liverpool, win-win for Rovers, win-win for this kid, and win-win for you guys, the fans, because I think he's a baller. Anyway, that's of course a little bit of what I have to say. What about what's going on social media? Let's have a little look at the reception. So David Allen said, heard brilliant things about this lad from a few Liverpool lads. Said he's on the edge of the first team. Josh, aka from Liverpool point of view, had a standout games, but sometimes leaves a lot to be desired physically and in terms of impact in games. If you want to see him at his best, try and find his performance against AC Milan in Champions League. Lots of quality, but it's about putting it all together. Sonny said, quality signing this. Early design said, quality this. 4 more to go. Adam Tatsuki said, if he's anything like Harvey Elliott, then we'll be in business. Jordan Kingsley said, great business. Two people saying we shouldn't be developing other clubs' players when our player of the season last year was alone. Yeah, there you go. Meanwhile, Becky said, heard good things about him. Hopefully he can show what he can do. JC Football said, absolutely fantastic signing for you. Enjoy watching him ping balls for 40 yards. So, yeah, a lot of good input from the fans there across the divisions. Of course, Liverpool lads getting behind the signing, and of course Rovers fans are excited as well. But what about my Rovers sees mafioso? What are they thinking about this move? I've got Jacob, and I think I've also got Millie, their point of view on the deal.
So Rovers have went and made 2 signings today. Can't remember the last time that happened. Probably going back to, I believe, Douglas Ayala and Elliott were all announced on the same day, if I remember right, in that underwhelming season under Mowbray behind closed doors. But yeah, this video is obviously about Tyler Morton. Very happy to get him through the door. Seems a player oozing with quality, someone who Jurgen Klopp clearly trusts. If he's willing to, send him out in big Champions League group stage games, which can't be sniffed at against Porto and AC Milan, 2 good teams in their own right. And from what I've seen of the highlights, seems he, handled himself well, rather. I watched his highlights. I know obviously you can't take everything from highlights. Obviously they're never going to show the bad bits. But from what I can see, he seems like a Buckley-esque player. Someone who's not afraid to get stuck in, can spray a ball quite well, can handle the ball under pressure. So in my mind anyway, he's going to be someone who, I wouldn't say rotates with Buckley. I would like to think Buckley gets the nod over Morton. I think it'd be very harsh to drop Buckley and put Morton straight into the team. Buckley's been exceptional last season for the most part when Mowbray didn't try and play him as a false 9 for whatever bloody reason, but he were brilliant on Saturday, Buckley, in that deep lying playmaker role, breaking up the play with Travis, getting stuck in as he can. Brilliant, and we need that depth in midfield. Obviously we lost Rothwell, BJ and Davenport, so we definitely need that depth. So in my mind, he's someone who's going to be subbed on for Buckley, and obviously if Buckley was to pick up an injury, someone who can slot in quite easily, I would have thought. And hopefully, he can get enough minutes. Obviously it's a long old season in the Championship, and obviously if Buckley's getting a bit leggy, and Morton seems like someone who can slot in there quite well. Obviously this season's going to be a lot about that high press, the intensity of the game under JDT. So having extra legs is definitely what we need. I'd still like to get a couple one holding midfielder at least, someone who can slot in there for Travis. As from what I've seen anyway, I don't think he'd be able to do the donkey work, I guess, like Travis does. He does seem someone who can, pick up the ball, handle the pressure midfield and spread it, and put it, whether that be over the top or a through ball in behind. Like I said, very Buckley-esque, but seems like a decent young lad. Seems he's coming with a good attitude. Hopefully, like Dirk said in a tweet, he's more Elliott and less Leighton Clarkson. Obviously, Clarkson came, and probably only came really because he was a Rovers fan. Wasn't really ready for Championship football, as we saw. And yeah, looked way out of his depth. So hopefully, Morton, that doesn't happen with Morton. I'd like to think it wouldn't be for someone who's, played against those calibre of sides in the Champions League. But, obviously he's playing with a lot better players at that level who can carry him. But if he holds his own at this level, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be going for a Prem loan move next season if he takes his chance with us this season. So yeah, really, really good loan move, I think. We've got a really good partnership, it seems, with Liverpool. They obviously trust us to nurture their players. Obviously, that went so well with Elliott. And hopefully can have a cracking season and, maybe pick up a few goals, certainly get some assists in that time and just get some minutes, get his experience, and hopefully can go back to Elliott as good as he was when he left Rovers.
So we've now got Liverpool's youngster, Tyler Morton, on a season-long loan. You can only think that if he is to straight away feature in the starting 11, then obviously one of our players that have been playing for us for ages are going to get dropped. And I think that's either going to be Dak or Dolan. Because Dak, obviously, I don't think, to be honest, he played in any of the pre-seasons. And even if he did, he didn't play that long. So JDT's not really had that much of an experience with watching him to see what he can do. And obviously he's just coming back out of an ACL injury again, so we're just having to adjust to that for him. So I think, to be honest, he's going to be a bench warmer and Tyler Morton's going to take his place if he gets put in the first team straight away, like what Callum Britton did. Or with Dolan, obviously, Dolan is young, so is Tyler Morton. So I think they're going to be contenders against each other. So it's either going to be Dolan in the team or Tyler Morton in the team. Or then again, they could play together. But to be fair, I do think he will drop either Dolan or Dak.
Well, there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. Of course, I am thrilled to bits by, of course, Rovers adding another player to the ranks. Of course, we need these players. We need the competition. We need the depth. We are relying on our academy, which is fantastic. Of course, they have not let themselves down, the academy, but this, a player of another level, I think. I think he's going to push Buckley for that spot. Buckley needs to see this competition and go, you know what? Yeah. All right, challenge accepted. I'll raise my game. And also just having another set of legs. You know, the championship is long, guys. It's 46 games long. And, of course, if we do have a cup run, which we're probably overdue for a cup run, we're going to be playing 50-odd games. That's 20. If you want to split that 50-50, that's 25 games apiece. That's enough already right there. 25. I can't even do one game. Jesus, you know... So let's give the lad a chance and let's mix it up a bit. Rotate the squad. It's not going to be long before we're playing 2 games a week. I think we actually play 2 games a week starting from after this game against Swansea City. We'll be playing Hartlepool in the Cup. Then it's, of course, I think it's West Brom. And then, of course, I think it's midweek game against Reading. And it's going to get busy. And those games will come and the injuries will come. The suspensions will come. So cool your jets, guys. Get on board. Get excited. And, of course, look forward to a new era under JDT. Anyway, that's my take on this one. Be sure to subscribe, smash the thumbs up, smash the old little bell. Until then, guys and girls, we're done right now.